Glamour. I'm Cecilia. Today I'm going to show you how to work with our darker nude palette. I've decided to put my extra color. I've put in mustard. And remember, this is only one way of doing this makeup. There's obviously a lot of different options in this palette. So I've already primed my eye area for today's eye makeup just by using an eyeshadow primer and a little bit of concealer. So for my first brush that I'm going to use is green dot number 11, and I'm going to start with using a little bit of my Nightlight, which is the black color in the palette. So when you want something to be slightly more intense, you can do a little bit more of a dab motion. If you wanted to have a little bit less coloring, then if you do more of a sweep motion, that helps as well to spread out the color. The softer your pressure, the less of a color will stick. The harder your pressure, the more color will stick. Remember that it's an eye area, you don't want to go too harsh. And that's pretty much it for the black color. Now I'll be moving on to a different brush. I'm going to use my green dot number 18 brush, and with this I'm going to use a little bit of taupe and dusty as my color on the lid. For the eye area over here, kind of like on the eyeball, I would like to add a little bit of bronze. If you don't have a lot of brushes, you can take this brush and you can dust off as much color as possible and then move on to another shade. For below my brow area, I'll be using a little bit of this mustard color mixed with a little bit of caramel just to get a nice highlighter underneath the brow area. So when you move on to your next color, just dust it off again, and then for a nice transition color, I'm going to go with a mix between Rusty and Cocoa Plum. Remember, Creative Glamour products are highly pigmented and quite soft. So if you have any drop, it's because you're using too much coloring. You're not letting the coloring stick to your bristles. If you give it a nice dab, you won't have any drop. So when you're doing more transitional colors, the lighter you go, the more you can fade this highlighter into the crease color. So all I'm using at this point in time is a little bit of Rusty mixed with caramel. When you want to intensify a color, you just kind of wait for it to settle, and then you can go over that color and intensify it a little bit more. I'm now for a final little bit of color change. I'm going to add a little bit of Woody mixed with my Nightlight to just get that last little bit of blending. Then when you want to intensify your shimmer parts, I think I'm going to go for a new brush, or otherwise you would need to clean your brush properly, but just for now, because it's a smaller area, I'm going to use the orange dot number 19. So I would like to intensify a little bit more of this bronze, and I'm going to mix a little bit of chestnut into that as well. So if you can see, I'm doing a little bit more of a dab motion. That works great when you want to get like shimmer colors to really be intense without using a mixing and lining liquid. So for the inner area, I would like to intensify that, becoming a little bit lighter. So I'm going to add a little bit of taupe only to that area. So I'm just going in with a little bit of dusty. If you want to add a little bit of shine still to your brow area, you can now just go over your matte highlighter, which I chose, and just give that little bit of a shine. So now I'm going to finish the rest of the look. So if you want to give your eye that final blending, use the green dot number 20. It works great for just that very light blending. So if you want to use it with no color and just blend, that works great. Or if you want to just use a little bit of color on that eye, on the brush, it will make that eye blend beautifully. Using my orange dot number 14, I'm just going to be applying a little bit of an eyeliner at the bottom of the eye, and with a little bit of dusty, we just add a little bit of a shine here at the bottom. Because you've done eyes first, you can remove any eyeshadow fallout if there was any, if you are doing eyes before foundation. So I'll be applying our 3D lashes. So it basically has like 2 layers of lashes. I've already pre-cut them. I'm just going to apply some glue and apply. So I'm going to start off by using number 12 and 14 of our foundation color range, just doing a little bit of a mix between the two, starting with underneath my eye area and working the way to my T-zone. Using the traditional brush, you can see that you'll get a little bit of a strokiness, where if you're using the flat brush, you automatically can achieve a bit of blending and application at the same time. Where you would like a little bit more coverage, you can just do a bit more of a dab motion and you can cover up any imperfections where you need be. So I'm going to be using the number 3 HD powder. So it has a little bit of a yellow tone. I would like to emphasize the yellow in her foundation, therefore I'm using this specific color. So you can apply it with a brush if you would like to have a light application. If you want a slight heavier application, you can use a powder puff, but remember this is for HD, so it is actually for those lighter looks. If you use the completely transparent one, that is great for even touch-ups. For my highlighting, I'm going to use our yellow dot number 11 with the body bronzer. Using a little bit of rust, just to bring a little bit of color into that shine with my contour. You'd even be able to use a little bit of dusting. You can use this gel liner for your bottom corners if you like. So I'll be using LPO 8 to finish our lip look. And that is our darker nude shade look for today. Thank you for watching.